The new HP Brio continues to deliver the best possible performance at the best possible price. It combines the latest technology from market-leading manufacturers with HP quality and reliability. Full-featured Celeron models start as low as $699. Performance Pentium 2 systems are priced as low as $999. Brio is a no-compromise business PC.
Microsoft eXtreme, brought to you in part by Hewlett-Packard. Welcome to Microsoft eXtreme, coming to you live from Microsoft Studios in Redmond, Washington. We've got a ton of great products and information to send your way today, including a demo of Windows 98 2nd Edition, a sneak peek at Office 2000, and a great add-in to Microsoft Office called MapPoint. For you gamers, we have a look at Midtown Madness, Age of Empires 2, and NFL 2000. So, let's get right to it. Please welcome our host, a product manager in the Office 2000 group at Microsoft, Mr. Tom Bailey.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Summer 1999 edition of Microsoft eXtreme. My name is Tom Bailey and I'm a lead product manager in Front Page in the Office Marketing Group here in Redmond. And on behalf of everyone here at Microsoft, I'd like to thank all of you, the nearly 15,000 people located in 31 movie theaters across the country, to our show today. I'd also like to take a minute to thank our partners and sponsors who have helped make this show possible. First of all, to all you user groups who are playing host in your local communities. Certainly without you, we wouldn't be able to pull off an event like this. We'd also like to thank Hewlett-Packard, who, as you heard at the outset, is providing the machines and monitors for today's event. In fact, we're going to be using HP Brios and HP Pavilions to help make our demos sing. We'd also like to thank 3Com, who are providing the PC video cameras over here that the Windows team will be using to do their demonstrations. And then finally, we'd like to thank Barnes & Noble, who are providing eXtreme attendees with a unique promotional offer of up to 30% off of Microsoft Press books. To find out more about that offer, you can go up to the Microsoft eXtreme website at www.microsoft.com/eXtreme. So we've got a great show in store for you today. Over 7 product managers here at Microsoft are here to show you some of the latest and greatest in technology and products coming out of Microsoft. We're going to see products over the next 2 hours, including Windows 98 2nd Edition and Windows CE. We're going to take a look at Office 2000. We're also going to take a look at a great companion product for Office 2000, the brand new MapPoint 2000. And then we're going to go ahead and have a lot of fun turning it over to the games group and show you Age of Empires 2, a civilization or a strategy game. We're going to see Midtown Madness, a car racing game through the streets of downtown Chicago. And we're going to see NFL Fever 2000. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open things up here by bringing out Shawn Sanford from the Windows group. Shawn, come on out. Hey there, Shawn. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great. You about ready to go here?
I'm about ready to go.
Okay, what I'd like to actually have you do first is, since we've got Windows 2000 Beta 3 out there, and probably a lot of people in the audience have been hearing a lot about it, maybe you can tell just very high level a little bit about that in comparison to what you're going to be showing here today.
Absolutely. We actually just went to Beta 3 with Windows 2000. We're very excited. We're just around the corner from releasing it out to the businesses. The basic difference is Windows 2000 is designed for the corporate businesses, where Windows 98 2nd Edition is really designed for the home users. So businesses that need to worry about the utmost security, manageability, and those kind of things, where home users have different tasks that they like to do. Some of the things I want to show you today here.
Sounds great. It sounds like it'll be perfect for this audience. Why don't you go ahead and get started?
All right, that'd be great.
Great.
Well, I am very excited to come and show you guys today Windows 98 2nd Edition. It's the latest update to Windows 98. We're actually going to build a lot on the Windows 98 technologies, things like great performance for applications and the incredible hardware support we had in Windows 98, like USB and 1394, as well as things like self-healing technologies within Windows 98, and something very, very close to my heart, it's a great gaming platform. So we're actually going to continue to build on that with Windows Update, the Windows 98 2nd Edition. And the things that we looked at there were basically in 2 specific areas. The online experience, so updating the internet technologies around Internet Explorer 5, so really to enhance that online experience. And then this notion about the connected home, so having multiple PCs connected in the house, building on the great networking technologies in Windows 98. and adding a technology called internet connection sharing that enables a home to actually use a single internet connection for multiple PCs to go out to the internet simultaneously. Some very, very cool things that I want to show you. So why don't we just kind of jump into it, and the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is Internet Explorer 5. This is the latest in the internet browsing technology from Microsoft. And when we were really kind of going through the development process for Internet Explorer 5, we were looking at, talking to users, and they were going, the internet's getting confusing. Getting to the things that I want to see is getting to be very hard. So we took this little mantra of going back to the basics. We really wanted to focus on the core tasks that users do on the internet, things like searching, maintaining the favorite sites, and being able to get back to places that you'd been to before, and just making that very easy to do and very friendly. So we look at this back to the basics and just kind of drilled into 3 areas, and it was simplicity, automation, and flexibility. And a side note to that is we made the fastest, most reliable browser available today. So those kinds of things all bundled together turned out to be a great browsing technology. First thing that I want to show you with Internet Explorer 5 is a couple things you'll notice right off the bat as I launch it here is that it looks really similar to the previous version of Internet Explorer. We didn't want to confuse people having to learn a new interface constantly going over time. So as we look at that, the simplistic interface that we kind of got to know and love is continued to be there. And we also look at the core tasks and how can we simplify those core tasks. If you think about searching and thinking about something that people do a lot of times is search for pictures on the internet. It's not something that's really that easy. There's a ton of options out there for users to use different search engines for different things. So users could, there's a possibility of confusion of, do I use Yahoo or AltaVista or MSN or Lycos or all kinds of different great search engines out there, and how can we make those easier to get to and make that more of a content-oriented process rather than a kind of how do I get to the engine, then how do I get to the content process. So what I'll show you here real quick is what we call the search assistant. And over in the left pane here, you'll notice real easily that we really focused on the content that the user would look for, whether it's a web page, a person's address, and not really put the burden on the user to actually find the engine that ties best to that content. So, every time I show this, a lot of people come to me and go, well, what kind of wizardry is Microsoft doing to tie into all these different engines, and how do they know which engine is best? Well, we actually put it up to the user, and there's a customized section in here, so the users can actually determine what engines actually will go to what kind of sites. So this is totally customizable for the user, and we've populated it with the most popular engines out there today to be able to do that. So let's kind of go ahead and see how this works. I'm actually a huge wrestling fan, so I kind of want to catch up on my World Wrestling Federation stuff since I've been missing it lately, working too hard. And you'll notice that just by typing in the WWF, I went to a search engine that I had previously, put as the #1 search engine, and I can go through the content and see if any of these links are the ones I want to go to. If this isn't the links that I want to go to or directing me to the pages that I want to go to, typically in the internet, the previous versions of the browsing technologies, you'd have to go start that search all over again. With Internet Explorer 5, I can simply hit the next button, and it'll take me to the next engine that I had listed. So I don't have to retype or go out to another engine to find all these things. So the elimination of steps in that process really simplify the ability to be able to get to that. So I can look through and say, oh, this is the page I want. This is the main page. So now I can very easily get to the page that I want to go to, catch up on my wrestling news, and be able to get to where, find out when the pay-per-views are, so I can throw my money to the TVs. The other thing is you'll notice that this doesn't change. So if this isn't the page after I even go here, I can actually continue my searches and continue to go through all the different search engines that I have listed here. So that's kind of, a basic search. We can also refresh it at any time, but I kind of want to go back to that example of pictures that I talked about earlier. Typically on the internet, it's extremely hard to find specific pictures that you want to do. I clicked a More tab here that actually expanded my list of content that I want to look at. And so I can actually click pictures and say I wanted to find pictures of sunsets. Everybody tells me that there are sunsets out there. I really don't see them in Seattle. We tend to have them covered by clouds, but I believe they exist. And I believe they're out there somewhere. So I can actually go in here and type in sunsets, and we'll see if we can actually find some pictures of sunsets out there. And you'll notice over in the left pane that it actually tied me into a search engine that's all about pictures. So I can very quickly see, wow, there really are sunsets. And you know what? Some of these look pretty good. Oh, I thought for sure that was Seattle, but I guess not. But so simplifying that process of being able to take people to content quickly and easily is something that's very, very powerful and something that we put into Internet Explorer 5. So that's just one of the examples of simplicity that we put into the product. The next thing I kind of want to talk about is automation. One of the other mantras we had when we were developing this product was automate everything. There's a lot of redundant tasks, like in searching, going through and finding engines, retyping the words you're looking for. A lot of steps that users really shouldn't have to do. So how can we automate those things that are done over and over again? So one of the things that we can look at is how can we automate. We have in Internet Explorer 4 a technology called auto search, where I could actually search out of the address bar. So it would be very easy for me to do that. So, excuse me, we actually wanted to go ahead and see how we could enhance that. What can we automate in this process? Let me go ahead and show you what we can do. I've actually, my wife actually works at Microsoft as well, and she's actually been extremely busy with the Office 2000 launch. And she's been kind of, stressed out, really working hard. And so I think it'd be nice if I actually went ahead and send her some flowers to go ahead and, try to ease the working regime there. So let's go ahead and see how Internet Explorer 5 can help me find my wife flowers. So if I type flower in the address bar and hit enter, it's actually going to go out and running a search, and it's doing a couple things here while it's working in the background. And you'll notice that automatically it opened up that search pane to give me a set of results of places that may have been where I want to go to. So is it a place I can buy flowers? But the other thing it did is it took me directly to a site that I can go ahead and buy flowers for automatically. So it's giving the user two different result sets. One is a search set that they can cycle through to figure out what kind of site they want to go to, where it is, if they have a specific one. But it's also giving them direct access to the page that can really quickly fulfill the needs that they have. So we're giving the users the benefit of being able to have a choice of take me there quickly, but I also want to maybe change the result set that I want to go. So that's kind of one of the things that we automated, and that's something that you can do with Internet Explorer 5 today. So the other thing that we looked at is, like me, I fill out a lot of forms on the internet, whether I'm getting memberships to things like CD Now or ESPN Sports Zone or all kinds of things. I'm constantly filling out forms. I'm also constantly getting passwords. One of the problems that I have is I can't remember all the passwords that I have. So I have today, at last count, 6 CD Now accounts because I can never remember them. So I just actually start over again and just keep going. So I get a lot of email from CD Now saying, you're taking up a lot of our bandwidth with your usernames and passwords. So let's kind of go into Hotmail here and see what happens. So if I type in my username, and this is actually off the MSN portal so I can get right into my Hotmail account. So I'll type in my username, I'll kind of go over here and type in my password, and I'll hit enter, and you'll see in AutoComplete, we've added AutoComplete to forms. So in automating forms, we can actually go ahead and offer the user the ability to remember their password and associate it with a username. So users don't have to remember the passwords that go with each username. Internet Explorer 5 can do that in a very secure, encrypted way. So I can actually go ahead and say, yes, I want you to remember my password. And let's go back real quick and we'll kind of go through this process again. So let's say I type in S. You'll notice that it automatically brought down a drop-down box with the username, so I really don't even have to remember the username I used that time. It'll give me choices. I can go ahead and actually say, yeah, there's my username, and it automatically put in my password. This is also set in by profiles, so it's per user, so I won't see other people's passwords and usernames as we go through and other people use my computer. I can actually very easily also kind of go through here and show you this real quick. I can say, you know what, I don't want this to be in here anymore, so I can actually delete it. And it'll give me that option to go through and do that. So it's a very secure way. It's a very easy way for people to get their passwords and usernames together. I've done a lot of that automation stuff throughout Internet Explorer 5. The last area that I want to talk about real quickly is the flexibility. And so as you think about the internet today, is how it's changed over the past. In the past, content was very visual. It was very reading text, looking at pictures. It was always static content. The internet has evolved rapidly into a rich information store. So I can now see video, I can hear audio, and I can hear all these things. The latest craze that I just love is internet radio. I can actually go out and listen to the internet at any radio stations on the East Coast. I can listen to them internationally. I can listen to any radio station that's broadcasting over the internet at my PC. I don't have to be located in that city. And we've actually enabled this within Internet Explorer 5. We've given the ability to have a radio toolbar. And I can actually go to the radio station guide, pick out a station that I actually want to go see. So the House of Blues, which I'm not really sure where this site is located, but I can actually go out and see, and they'll take me to the homepage and start listening to a radio station. And this is something that we have over at launch of Internet Explorer 5, over 300 radio partners signed on with us to do this. And there it is. And this is the House of Blues. So I can actually, the very cool thing is now I'm not tied to the House of Blues. I can actually continue to browse and continue to listen to the internet in the background. So no matter if I want to work and just listen to it at the same time, I can do that. I have the flexibility to listen to that rich content as well as do all the things that I need to do with Internet Explorer 5. So that's kind of a real high-level, quick overview of Internet Explorer 5. Simplicity, automation, flexibility, fast and reliable. Those are the things we really worked on, just taking it back to the basics and making the internet an enjoyable experience and let users be able to use it the way they wanted to do it. The next thing that I want to talk about is internet connection sharing. And with internet connection sharing, we've actually added technology into Windows 98 2nd Edition that builds off of the Windows 98 networking technology. But it enables users with multi-PCs in their home. So, if I have a PC, my wife has a PC, typically in today's world, you have to have multiple phone lines to be able to both dial out at the same time. With internet connection sharing, I can have one internet connection and both PCs can connect and go through that same internet connection simultaneously. I want to actually go around the back of these computers here because these two computers are actually set up for it and just actually show you. So I'm not using smoke or mirrors or anything. This is real demo stuff. You'll notice this gray line here is actually an ADSL line directly out to the internet. So I'm actually live on the internet with this machine here. And then this red line is a networking cable that actually comes, that I connected the net cards in both these machines together to do that. These HP Pavilions, which are kind of being used for the first time within this demo, they'll actually be available on June 13th, actually ship with network cards. So a lot of PCs now are shipping with these network cards, and these HP Pavilions have them built in. And so all I needed to do was actually get a cable to hook those two up, and these guys are now networked. And they're networked, and I can actually share this internet pipe out there. So not only am I getting an internet connection sharing, but I'm also getting a home network. So these two PCs now can not only share the internet connection, but share data. We can actually play multiplayer games, and we can actually solve a lot of issues. My wife, like I said, works at Microsoft. We're both constantly trying to get home to get on the internet, and on the weekend we're arguing over who connects and who does what. I've come up with some great business excuses for me to be online more than her. And so I can manage my fantasy baseball team on a regular basis and do all those kind of things, those important business things that I need to do. But my wife's also having a birthday coming up, and so I kind of want to work on, planning out her surprise party that we can do that. So obviously we can use two people, so my mother-in-law is actually in the audience, and so I kind of want to bring her up here so we can actually do this and show you how two people can do things at the same time. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
Thanks for helping me out on this.
You got it. I just want to know one thing. Is this a mother-in-law test?
This is a mother-in-law test.
Okay.
But you can't fail.
Okay.
So,
I like that. Okay.
While I'm actually over here, we're thinking, for the surprise party, it'd be great to have a good dinner, and then maybe after dinner go somewhere with a group of people. So why don't you actually try to figure out where we're going to go after the dinner, and I'll look for a dinner place real quick.
Okay.
So if I'm going to go up to Seattle, or actually Sidewalk. So if we can go to sidewalk.com, while I try to navigate this web here, and we'll see what happens, and I can hopefully get up there to go on and do this.
Do you want to go to a private party?
Yeah, a
Your
private party will be good if I can actually learn how to type in
I'll go team.
URLs. So apparently she's much more experienced than I am. So if I wanted to go up here, and you can see the cool thing about this is we're looking at two different things. So I can actually go in and look for entertainments, or here's the restaurant section in Seattle Sidewalk. Look for the cuisine. So are you finding the places over there somewhere we can go?
I am. I'm looking at GameWorks right now.
Well, that's very cool. I'm going to come check that out. So as you can
Let's go
see,
here.
she's actually on a completely different website, but we're going through the same internet connection. I could be doing email while she's browsing. She could be playing a game well, actually, I'd be playing the game while she's doing work.
You can do a game.
And we could do all kinds of great things. So I think we got a good basis for a good party here. So we'll go out to a nice dinner. We can go to GameWorks where there's video games. And
You going or we all going?
well, I'll check it out first, and then we
we'll
can
all
all go. All right, thank you very much for helping me out with that. So with internet connection sharing, not only the power of sharing an internet connection, but also sharing instantly being able to be networked. Networking is available today. You can do that with all kinds of different technologies. But just by setting up this connection sharing, your PCs are kind of magically networked. And it's very easy to do. You don't have to get into no specific IP addresses and all kinds of great things like that a normal user would have to, network through. Something that's very simple. There's a wizard to walk through it, and then you're done. So that's kind of a great, powerful tool to be able to enable multiple people to start doing things. The last thing that I want to show you is actually, we talk about the great hardware support that was in Windows 98. We've kind of ignited with Windows 98 the USB front. So there's a ton of USB equipment out there to enable people to very simply plug in devices, have it detect, be able to use things. Well, 1394 is another technology. It's a very friendly name, 1394. That you can go out and it's another networking technology that I can actually attach devices via 1394. There are a lot of PCs out there shipping with 1394 cards and ports in them today, as well as devices. I actually have a Sony camera here that I'm actually going to unplug. That's actually, you can get this in just about any audio video store. And it actually comes with a 1394 jack on it, so I can very easily take a videotape that I create or actually edit one on the fly and do things with an editing application on the PC. So just to show this and make sure I hit the right buttons here, I can work a PC. Cameras are a whole different ballgame. So we actually want to update the website for eXtreme, and so we thought it would be great to actually get some live footage from the audience. So I actually need all of you guys in the studio audience to participate with me. I know this will kind of be strange, but so I'm going to start over here on the right side, and we're going to record the Seattle wave. So we're all going to do the wave and follow me down. So hopefully I don't trip over any cords or anything. So we're all ready on this side. Remember, here we go. Come on. Yay! All right, that's a bigger camera than I have. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to actually go in and show you kind of what the power of having 1394 is. So here's the 1394 wire. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I can actually now take this, if I can find the jack, plug this in, turn the camera back on, see if I turn it in the right direction, which I did. And now I actually loaded a special video editing application, which there's a lot of them on these machines. So I'm actually going to load it on a different machine, so we'll switch over to these machines real quick. And so there's a ton of video editing applications out there. I just have this one on this machine. And I just want to show you real quickly how quickly and how powerful this is. So if we can get rid of that screen, go ahead and plug into the camera here. Let me rewind the video we just took. So I'm actually not pressing any of the buttons on the camera. I'm actually just using this interface. And we'll see, this is kind of like a cameraman test. We'll see how awful I was with the camera. So it's all rewound, and let's just kind of play it back real quick to see how terrible of a job I did or how exciting this is going to be for everybody when it gets to the website. So it's actually queuing up, and here we go. And the excitement is brewing in everybody in the audience. We're getting set. Really glad there's no video. And here we go. And look at that terrible camera work. But what you can see real quickly is that the power of 1394 with Windows 98 Second Edition enables you to do all kinds of new things. Very quickly and easily being able to edit video that you take of a family vacation. I could have spliced in other videos. I could have been not really as professional as the cameraman that we have here, but I could have tried real hard, and we could have done it a real good job. So that's kind of what I want to show you. I actually want to bring out my partner in crime, which is Tom Lamel, to actually show you a couple more cool things that we have in Windows 98 Second Edition. Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Thanks, John. All right, that was some pretty cool stuff, but what I want to show you now, I want to show you the Windows Media Player. Windows Media Player is actually, I'll launch it here on my machine, make sure it's up. It's the tool that enables you to play the coolest audio and video out on your PC. And that can be right off of your hard disk or streamed out over the internet. So it supports the major formats that are out there today, like MP3, WAV, AVI, and MPEG. And it also supports the Windows Media Audio format. The Windows Media Audio format is the format that was based on research done by the Microsoft Research Group here in Redmond. And it's really a major step forward. What it is it enables you to get better quality at smaller compression. For example, you can get something that's MP3 quality at about half the size. So that means that if you're streaming something off the internet, you can do it at lower bandwidth, or if you're saving things to your hard disk, you're going to have twice the space to do that. The other thing it does is supports digital rights management, and that means that you're going to start seeing top artists releasing tracks in this format, and because they know that the rights protection is going to enable you to play that. And also major record labels like Sony and Capitol are going to start releasing tracks like this. And rather than just talk about it, it probably makes more sense to go up here to a site and play some of it. So I'm going to the web events site. You saw I just launched it right off of the media player. Right up on top, we've got something from the Beastie Boys. They've actually released a few tracks exclusively in the WMA format. And I'm going to go to their site right now. See, they've got an effort going here where if you download one of their tracks, one of these exclusive tracks, they'll pay $1 to the Kosovo Relief Fund. And actually, so that means if you run home, download a track, you're going to make the Beastie Boys spend $1. And the neat thing about it is that Microsoft will also match that contribution. I'm going to just play the preview here right off the site we could download here, or we can just play a preview so you hear what it sounds like streaming over the internet.
That's very cool, Tom. So I want to make sure that I understand exactly what's going to happen. So since artists are going to adopt this as a way to distribute their songs, so is what you're saying that eventually over time that I can go up to the internet and download individual songs from different artists and basically create a virtual album on my own hard disk that I can listen to and create and customize in all kinds of different ways?
You can do that today. There's plenty of content out there. You can even download to your palm-sized PC and play the tracks off of that.
That's awesome. Well, what else can Windows Media Player do?
Well, it's more than just audio. It's a multimedia player. That means it plays video too. You were mentioning before how you're a big WWF fan, right? So I thought something would be fun is to hit the WWF site where they've got some actual pay-per-view. So audio and video stuff saved up. Now the pay-per-views are normally in the evening, and here we're doing this kind of in the morning, midday thing. So I've gone there earlier for a few weeks ago and copied this stuff down. So I'll show you what the pay-per-view site looks like on WWF. They want some credit card information from you so that you can actually purchase this thing, and then Okay, and the other thing I want to show you is NetMeeting. NetMeeting 3 is part of Windows 98 2nd edition, and in order to use, I'm going to launch NetMeeting over here. So I'm here at ADSL speeds, just like we were doing the internet connection sharing before. So I'm actually on the same sort of setup, ADSL speeds here. And in order to do the Windows NetMeeting is an audio, video, and data collaboration application. So I want to show you some of the video, and I'm going to need a camera for that. The camera that I have is a 3Com Home Connect camera. It's a USB camera. Just stuck it right in the USB port in the back of this Brio here. And I also understand that we're raffling off these things at every theater. So at the end of the show today, you're going to get a chance to pick up one of these. So the best way to show you what NetMeeting does is to actually call somebody. And I'm going to do that. Now I told a friend of mine who works at Microsoft Beijing that I might be testing things. I didn't tell her about the whole, theaters across the USA and stuff like that. I told her I might be testing out NetMeeting in the morning. Her name is Beijing, and that sounds like a city, and it is, but it's also her name. So I'm going to put in her email address, And make sure I spell it right. She's got a Hotmail account. Now, the way this works is she's actually logged on to something called the Microsoft Internet Directory, and she's logged on using her email name. When I type that in here, it'll search against that directory and then find it. Ultimately, it's the IP address that finds her. But I don't have to go. I don't have to go looking up at that directory now. So I'm going to just try giving her a call. Right. And I've got a headset here. This headset helps cut down on some of the echo in case you've got your speakers too close to your microphone. I've got my speakers out in the house here, so I'm just going to use the microphone part. Hello, Beijing. Glad to see you're in the. You're sitting at your computer today. Have we got her out over the PA? I hear her. Oh, there we go. I heard her over here. Okay, so what are you doing working on a Saturday? What are you doing working on your...
I'm just catching up on work. Want to see what I'm working on?
This thing is not long enough for me to actually reach my head. See? I'd be stooped over. So I'm just going to use the mic here. I'm going to show you something about because I've got a little real estate problem on my screen here. You can actually make a compact view, and then I just have her video here, and then we have plenty of room to see what she's doing. So it looks like Beijing's working on a net meeting presentation here, and she can actually enable me to jump in and work in that. And I see that she's working on the mission statement for net meeting. So I want to add something which is very important.
That is
Yeah.
extremely important.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Tom, is this application actually on her machine or on your machine? Or?
Yeah, so she's sitting at home right now, happens to have a fast connection also, and she's working on this presentation. It's a PowerPoint thing, and you can see up on top here. It's actually on her machine. I don't have to have the application running on my machine, and I don't have to actually even have it installed because I'm just seeing an image of what she's doing.
That's very cool.
And I can, well, I'm going to close this stuff off here. So Beijing,
Yeah?
we were talking the other day about my daughter, about my family, and I want to show you a picture, a new picture that I have of my daughter. And I can do that also using NetMeeting. It's audio and video, but it's also data collaboration. You can share applications like we did. We've also got something like the whiteboard, electronic whiteboard here, which you can do doodling in and drop graphics. Anything you can cut, copy, paste can go into the whiteboard. So I've actually already got a picture of my daughter from last weekend. I'm just going to drop it in there. And can you see her, Beijing? And so now you see Beijing is on the other side writing very appropriately, very cute. And this is multipoint, so we could do this with a whole group of people, right? They could be seeing this too. This is like sort of this is something that I do with my mom when I'm not helping her out over the internet, giving her PC support using NetMeeting. We can actually exchange pictures with this.
So this is something that I could use personally to do my daily calls with my mom. Is it easy to set up? And I mean, you just plug a USB camera in and you're ready to go?
Right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you another application here. Thank you, Beijing. Going to hang up on you now. There you go.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So for someone like you who calls his mom every day and brings his mother-in-law up on stage and things like that.
Need that security blanket.
You can do something else. You can go a step further and actually embed NetMeeting in a home page. And you think about that application for like e-commerce site where we could speak to a salesperson. You can also do it on your own personal site. And this is actually something that I did on my personal site. And the idea is that if I travel a lot on my job, so I have my own personal site where I can call home, right? And if I know that my wife or my kid's at the computer on the internet, I can give them a call and actually connect up to them.
That's a great picture.
And thank you. It's from last Halloween, actually. That's not the way they normally look. I can show you the source. The source for this is only a few lines of code somewhere down here. to actually place the call after all these. This is all images stuff, and the actual call is just like these many lines of code to actually get through and place a call out to somebody by embedding any of the net meeting features into the. Oh, we're getting a call. I didn't really expect to. That's from the director. I better accept it. So I happen to be on. So net meeting is not running. We've just got the. Oh, hi Roman.
Hey Tom. It's about time we wrap it up, okay?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Roman.
That's all right.
I was getting a little carried away. All right, bye. All right, I'm going to turn it off. But you know what? We're on this site, and chances are my daughter, Saturday morning, if she's not watching the cartoons, she's surfing the internet.
We are a little short on time.
3-year-olds, you know how they are nowadays. So I'm going to see if they're there. If the computer's not on, I'm not going to get connected,
okay.
right? So kind of bear with me, everybody, all right? So we'll give it a try. If she's on, then it'll ring and launch net meeting on. Oh, she's there, and she's got a microphone on. Hello there, Rebecca.
Daddy, it's me.
Oh, hi there. What are you doing?
I'm not just on the computer.
Yeah, try not to eat the microphone. Oh, okay. Thanks a lot, Rebecca. Thanks for being there at the computer. I appreciate it. I just had to, outdo Shawn and his mother-in-law. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye. All right.
That's great, Tom.
So that's. So that's net meeting. Now we're at ADSL speed, so we get pretty good quality, but it works over 28.8. You're going to get 3 to 5 frames per second instead of the above 25 frames per second that we were getting here. But it's a pretty cool app, and it's in Windows 98 Second Edition, and you get it. It's on your computer right there.
So all the sons should install it on their mother's computer so they can communicate on a regular basis.
Audio, video, data, collaboration. Yep, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Tom. Since the director's getting a little antsy, we should probably just sum it up real quickly. So basically, what we showed you is Windows 98 Second Edition, the update to Windows 98. We've added a really ton of cool technology in there to really enable a lot of different things, the online experience as well as kind of working towards the idea of the connected home so you can share data with multiple PCs as well as the internet connection. So for users out there that are still running Windows 95 or Windows 3.1, there's no better time like the present to actually go out and get the latest and greatest technology, which we've showed you today. For users that are already running Windows 98 and getting a ton of benefits that we've already talked about, there's going to be an update CD that'll be available on the website, or you can call into an 800 number for like $19.95. And those will be available in the next couple of weeks, and you'll see it in the retail stores shortly after that. So I just want to say thanks a lot for all your time, and hopefully you enjoyed it.
Let's hear it for these guys. Great demo. Great demo, you guys. Great functionality in Windows 98 Second Edition and great personal touches over here with your daughter. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and keep it in the Windows family here, and I'm going to walk you over and introduce you to Pam Goldschmidt, who's a product manager in the Windows CE group. Hi there, Pam. How are you doing?
Great.
Good. Well, it looks like you've got tons of hardware here, so I'm sure you have lots of things to show these folks, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. Well, what I'd like to do today is talk a little bit about PC companions based on Windows CE. Many of you today are using your desktop computers to keep track of your schedules, your contacts, your to-do lists. You're answering email, you're surfing the web, and basically these PC companions are mobile devices that let you take a slice of your desktop with you. Any of these devices can connect to your desktop. The information on your desktop can synchronize down. You can disconnect the device, take it with you, and you've got it right there in your hand. Now, the first thing that I'd like to show you are handheld PCs. These are devices such as this that have a screen and a keyboard. They're light. They have batteries that last up to 12 hours. They have instant on, so if I just press a button, I'm instantly where I want to be. And if we take a look here over at this other one here, we actually have 2 different sizes that they come in. This one is what we call a half-height VGA. It's a 640 by 240 screen. And this other one is a full VGA device that has a 640 by 480 screen and a larger size keyboard. Now if we look at the software that's here on the desktop, you'll notice that what we have are pocket versions of Office applications, the ones that you use most. Now these applications don't do everything that your desktop applications do, but they do the basic things that you really want to be able to do when you're away from your desk. So for example, here we have Pocket PowerPoint, Pocket Access, Pocket Excel, Pocket Word, Pocket Internet Explorer, Pocket Email, Pocket Streets, all of the things that you can take with you. So let me just go ahead and open up one of the applications. This is Pocket PowerPoint. So when you're away from your desktop, what you really want to be able to do with a mobile device is to be able to project. You want to be able to have the presentation with you and show it, but you're not going to have all of the full editing capabilities that you will have on your desktop. Basically, when you're done creating your application or you're done creating your file, you're going to synchronize it down and it actually gets compressed and stays the way it is so that you can take it with you. But one of the great things about this device, and you can see here, I've got a VGA out on the back, so I can take this with me anywhere and use this to give a presentation. And it will project up to 640 by 480 or 800 by 600, and I can even have annotations on my slides. Plus, because this is a mobile device, I get something that I don't get on my desktop, which is what I call the cheat sheet view, where I can see my PowerPoint presentation on the left and I get notes over here on the right, so that I'm able to actually make notes about what I might want to say for a particular slide. But let's say, for example, I'm in a conference room or I'm traveling out on the road and I need to have more than just the applications, the pocket versions of the applications. Well, we've just released the Windows Terminal Server Client for handheld PCs with the Windows 2000 Server Beta 3 CD. And so I'd like to show that to you next. Basically what I'll be able to do is either having a modem connection or an Ethernet connection. I can go up here to my Start menu. I can select Programs, come down here to my Terminal Server Client. I'm going to go ahead and select this server, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually connecting onto the Microsoft corporate network. And you'll notice that my screen has changed here. Now what I have is that I am actually in a terminal mode. I now have access to full applications. So if I come down here to my Start menu and come over here to Programs, you'll see that I have all these great Office 2000 applications that I can go ahead, use for my handheld PC. I can have access to my files that I've got stored out on my corporate servers, and I really can have that increased level of productivity when I need it, but I still have the flexibility and the portability of being on a small mobile device. Now the next thing that I'd like to show you are palm-sized PCs. They're smaller devices. They fit in the palm of your hand. They don't have a keyboard, but they're another great way for you to take the essence of what you need with you. The palm-sized PCs that I'm about to show here are new. They have color screens. I think most of the ones that you may have seen in the past have been monochrome. They have a 240 by 320 screen, and they also share that same familiar Windows interface that you've seen both on the handheld PC and that you're used to on the desktop. So simply by selecting the Start button, I'm presented with all the different applications that I have on the device. Now on the palm-sized PC, we include Pocket Outlook, which is the calendar, contacts, inbox, and tasks. Plus we have two note-taking applications, a note taker like a memo pad and a voice recorder, so I can actually record voice notes and play them back. The first thing that I like to do is just quickly show you the calendar. And again, you'll recognize it very similar to Outlook because it is part of Pocket Outlook. I can set recurring meetings, I can do group scheduling, many of the same rich features for Outlook on my desktop. The next thing that I'd like to show you is that there's several different ways that you can input information into a palm-sized PC. So one of the things that I could do is I could type, and we include a soft keyboard. So I can type in. We also have a character recognizer, so I could choose to write. And one of the things that you'll notice down here in this area is the word complete feature. We have a dictionary that has over 24,000 words, and simply by selecting a word, it completes the word for me. So it's going to save time as I'm going ahead and entering in information. But we also have a drawing mode. So basically I can draw, and I could do things such as charts. Anytime you're in a meeting, oftentimes people are doing things on the whiteboard. This is an easy way to capture that information. Now, many of us are going out on the web and we're surfing information. Wouldn't it be great to be able to take that with you? Well, you can now with palm-sized PCs. With the AvantGo client here, which is third-party software written for the palm-sized PC, I've selected a couple of different channels. AvantGo features over 100 major different content channels, everything from news and finance to entertainment information. And I'm just going to go ahead and select USA Today, which is one of the devices that, or one of the channels that I picked up today. And if I select travel tips, we can go ahead and you can see I've got all the information right here at my fingertips. And as I scroll down, it's right there in my hand. So if I'm traveling to a city, I can get restaurant information, hotel information, any kind of information, and I have it right there with me. Now, another great application that benefits from color is maps. And here I have Pocket Streets, which is included with all palm-sized PCs. And in fact, we include several maps of major metropolitan areas, but if you use Microsoft Expedia Streets and Trips 2000, you can select maps from anywhere in the country and synchronize them down onto your palm-sized PC. Here I have Seattle, and if I wanted to find a location, let's say I wanted to find Microsoft, I simply enter in the address, tap OK, and it's going to take me right to the location, and you can see the detailed map. So it's a great piece of information to have, again, right there at your fingertips. Another thing that you can do with color and with these type of devices is bring digital images to your hand. Many of us are using digital cameras where today we've got these small compact flash cards. You have an image, you take it. Well, you can actually take that compact flash card and put it into the top of the palm-sized PC, or take the images from your desktop and bring them down. And this is a product called Sierra Imaging, which is a photo album that lets me, right now we're looking at thumbnail view, but I can actually go here to photo album view. So I'm just going to turn that on the side here. This is we're going to look at a couple pictures of my niece. So you get to see, she's a real cutie. And then, of course, that's my baby. The next thing that I'd like to do is show you a multimedia palm-sized PC. And a while ago, you saw the Windows Media Player playing music over on the desktop. What I'm going to be doing here is showing you that same application running on a palm-sized PC. So I'm just going to go ahead and start this.
I need some loving, and that's not all. I want to kiss him, but he's way too tall.
And again, you're able to take that great music. There's going to be lots of it out there on the internet, and you can take it with you. It's 16-bit audio, stereo. You can have headphones in, or use the speaker on the device, or hook it into speakers that you may have at your desktop. Another great thing that people like to do with these devices is play games. So I thought I would show you a fun game. I'm not very good at games, so I tend to, well, you'll see. This is a game called Burper. And again, I'm not very good. Whoops. Finally. And then the last thing that I'd like to show you is mobile video, because these devices have great processors. They're capable of being able to play not only sounds and play sounds, show images, but also play motion video. So you'll be seeing, just like you do with the audio files, it's great video files that can be downloaded onto these devices.
Great demos, Pam. Fantastic. There really are a phenomenal number of things that you can do with the variety of Windows CE devices that you've shown us here.
Yes, I hope I've shown that these are more than just connected organizers, that these are really powerful computing platforms. There's lots of great software out there by a number of third parties, and I hope that you'll go out and check out Windows CE devices. Thank you.
That's great. Well, that wraps up the Windows part of the presentation. And before we move on to Office 2000, we're going to show a short video clip. All right, well, welcome back. You saw some great stuff with Windows earlier today, and now the product that's closest and nearest and dearest to my heart is Office 2000. And we're going to be showcasing for you today some of the great new functionality in Office. It's also a very exciting time for us right now. We're here today to show you the product. Monday is our official launch in San Francisco of Office 2000, and Thursday we're going to have broad retail availability. June 10th, Thursday, you'll be able to get Office across the country, around the world, and we're really excited about that. And the hero for Office today is Office 2000 Premium. We've heard from lots of customers for a long time that they kind of want the whole enchilada. They want us to throw all the desktop productivity applications into one box, give a great value, integrate things together. And with Office 2000 Premium, we've done that for the first time. So we've taken traditional Office applications like Word and Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Access, and added to those Publisher, PhotoDraw, a new business graphics package, and FrontPage 2000, which is our leading web page design and creation tool. Put them all into one package, and we're going to be pretty much showing you most of the applications today in the next 50 to 60 minutes. And to help me do that, I'm going to go ahead and invite out David Jaffe, a fellow product manager in Office. Come on out, David. Good. Exciting time for us, huh?
It really is. There are a lot of great things going on with Office 2000. I know you demoed this at the last eXtreme event, but I heard you needed a little bit of help, so I'm here to help you out and demo Office 2000.
That was the feedback, so thanks a lot for coming out.
Well, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll head right over here.
Sounds great.
There's really three main areas of focus for Office 2000. First, Office 2000 makes it easy to share information with others and then collaborate on that information. Meaning you can share important documents with friends or coworkers and then collaborate on that document in new and improved ways. Second, Office 2000 offers rich analysis tools so you can make better, more informed decisions. That is, with the powerful tools in Excel 2000 and Access 2000, you can access and analyze data in ways that were never possible. And last but not least, Office 2000 is easy to use and easy to manage. And this is something that we focused on since day one of Office, and the legacy continues with Office 2000 by making the products work more like you do. So enough talking by me. Let's go ahead and get started and show this great product. So I'm going to go ahead and get started where many people start their day, in Outlook 2000, checking my inbox.
That inbox looks a little disorganized, David.
Well, I wonder why. Look how many email messages you've sent me. Well, actually, I do have trouble sometimes keeping my inbox organized. But with Outlook 2000, that's not a problem. Here I have the Outlook 2000 Rules Wizard that allows me to create a rule so that when a message comes in with a specific attribute, such as from a certain person or with a specific word in the title, I can choose exactly what I want to do with it. So here you can see I've already set up the rule to delete all messages from you when they arrive.
Smart guy.
Yeah. The best thing about Outlook 2000 Rules Wizard, though, is that I can actually run the rule on messages that are in my inbox already. All I have to do is click on the Run Now button, and you'll see there go all your message right into the deleted items folder. And just to show that it's there, we'll go into our deleted items folder, and there are all your messages right where they belong.
I've been pretty busy, though, haven't I? I've been sending you lots of messages. Well, now that they're gone, you can see here that I guess Bill Gates has sent you a message up there at the top.
Yeah, we better go ahead and check this out.
I would too.
So let's check this out. We'll we're going to go ahead and view this using the Outlook preview pane, which was first introduced in Outlook 98 and allows me to see my messages without actually having to open them up first. It looks like Bill's been surfing the web a little and has come across a number of great user group sites that he wanted to showcase.
Now, I hope these were created in front page.
Well, it looks like Bill's already looked at that, and they were created in front page. And he's even included the hyperlinks to those user group sites.
Great.
Outlook 2000 has a new and improved Outlook bar that allows me to create a shortcut to any file, folder, or website. So I can just go ahead and take these hyperlinks that Bill sent me and drag them right onto my Outlook bar. Nice. So I'll drag the Tampa Bay Computer Society, the Indianapolis Computer Society, and then both the Cincinnati and Twin City PC User Group Society links right on. And because Outlook's HTML-based, I can actually open up this web page for the Tampa Bay Computer Society in the right-hand pane of Outlook. So what this means is I can always access important information without leaving Outlook.
Looks like they've done their job there. They've got eXtreme sitting right there.
They do.
Nice promotion for eXtreme. Can you also surf through the web here in Outlook as well?
Absolutely. All I can do is just click on another page, and you'll see that it easily navigates there. I even have a basic web toolbar for simple navigation right within Outlook.
And then if you want to take these HTTP names over here and rename them, can you do that pretty easily as well?
Absolutely. You can see that this is pretty much a long name. I can easily go ahead and just rename the shortcut, and I'll just call this Tampa Bay here. Excellent. And we are all set.
Perfect.
Going back to that original email message from Bill, you'll also notice that he's attached a contact card for Thomas Keel, who's the Tampa Bay Computer Society president. The reason that Bill can attach his contact card is because Outlook supports the vCard standard that allows me to share contact information with others right over the internet. So I can just take this contact card and drag it right into my contacts folder, and Thomas's contact will be stored there. Perfect. If I want to go ahead and find the information on Thomas, I can now go ahead and use the quick find contact tool no matter where I am in Outlook. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll type in Thomas's name here. And when I hit enter, you'll see that it brings up his contact information with his name, his address, and even a map to the Tampa Bay Computer Society Resource Center.
Now, am I on that list as well?
You are on that list. You'll notice that the quick find contact tool keeps a list of all the people that I've contacted or have looked up most frequently, including you. But you'll see that it's smart enough to recognize that you're not just a normal contact, that you're somebody in my organization. Right. And we'll pull up the information directly from Exchange.
Super.
Another great way to keep track and organize all my people I contact the most frequently is to create a personal distribution list. With Outlook 2000, I can create a personal distribution list that puts all these people that I contact most frequently under one name for easy scheduling or emailing. So I'm going to go ahead and name this distribution list David's Friends.
That'll be a pretty short list.
Whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and just select some members here to add to that list. So I'll just come down and I'll even add you for now. And I'll add you. And I can also go ahead and select people from my contacts list as well. And I'll just go ahead and include Thomas here, who we just added to our contacts list.
So this is cool because you can actually pick people inside a company and outside and pull them all together.
Exactly. And the best thing about this is that this distribution actually gets stored in my contacts folder, so I don't have to manage a separate personal address book for these distribution lists. So let's go ahead and save and close this, and let's go schedule a meeting, or in this case, actually, let's schedule a party that I'm having a little bit later on with this group. So here we are in the Outlook calendar view. And the first thing you'll notice is the yellow background color that allows me to see my free and busy times more easily. And I can even customize this to choose whatever color I want. You'll also notice that if I hover over an appointment, a screen tip appears that allows me to see the details of the appointment without actually having to open it up first. So let's go ahead and schedule a meeting with this distribution list that I just created. And I'm just going to go ahead and type in David's Friends here. And just as you'd expect, I can see the aggregate free and busy times of the team as a whole. With Outlook 2000, I can now expand this distribution list to see each individual member's free and busy times as well, including Thomas Keel, who's not even in my organization. That's because Outlook 2000 supports the iCalendar standard that allows me to share free and busy times right over the internet. I can even go ahead and uninvite people with just the click of a button, so if you're no longer my friend, I can go ahead and uninvite you from the party.
But if you really decided to invite me to the party and say I was coming from the road, what sorts of things do we have for mobile professionals or mobile folks?
Well, we have a number of great new functionality as it relates to offline folder synchronization. You'll see that we have some new offline folder settings that allow me to go ahead and choose exactly the folders that I want to synchronize for offline use. So I can just go ahead and choose exactly which folder without having to first go into the properties and selecting it from there. You also see that I can now set up smaller groups of folders so that when I'm on the road, I can choose only the folders that I need to synchronize rather than having to download all the folders maybe if I was on a slow connection even.
So that's great because, so for example, you could just take your inbox then and just save all your inbox messages that you could do on the plane or something like that.
That's correct.
Perfect.
So basically that's Outlook 2000 in a nutshell. You can see how Outlook 2000 allows me to communicate and collaborate with others much more easily, as well as be much more organized.
Fantastic. Good. All right, well, thanks, David, on Outlook. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Word 2000, and I'm going to go ahead and take over here. We also, this begins an opportunity for us to do a little side-by-side comparison between Office 97 and Office 2000. We heard that feedback during last fall's show, and we picked some spots here throughout the rest of the presentation to do a little side-by-side. So why don't we go ahead and move over here and show you some of the new things in Office 2000, or in Word 2000, pardon me. You can see here that I have a basic document up here, and in Word 2000, the two key things that we focused on is making documents easier to create. And you might say, well, gosh, you know, Word's been around for so long, how can you do that? Well, I think I'll show you some of those things here today. And then also, in addition to ease of use, we're really trying to make it easier to get that information into and onto the web. And so you'll see some of that functionality as well. So you can see here that I've already got some structure to this document, which will help us save some time putting it together. And if I wanted to add a title, a date, a document type up at the top, in the past I'd have to sort of jerry-rig the tab settings and things. But now it's a lot easier. I can just use the new click and type feature to just click anywhere in a document and just start typing. Very nice. And then I can come over here to the right, and you can see I've got that little alignment tip that comes up. And if I double-click, I can just add a date over here, like that. And I can move this back if I want. Aha, look at that. Hang on, let me try that one more time. Go ahead and click over here. It doesn't want to. One more time. There we go. Sorry about that. I should know my where my tooltip is, and you can see it comes over from the right-hand side there, and then I can come over here. Let me change the spelling on this word, and then I'll come back over here and type in the document type. So we'll make that a memo. All right, once we have all the title information in here, I can select the text, and I can use a new drop-down WYSIWYG font dialog, which allows me to see the font styles before I select them. All right, so we'll come down here, and I think I'll make that Arial, and let's increase the font size there to 24. And I'll go ahead, and now I've got that top of the document put together. All right, the next thing is now I could either start typing down here in the document, or in fact I want to go and leverage content from other Office applications. And so David, I'm going to have you go ahead and don the Office 97 hat here, and we're going to do a little side by side. What I'd like you to do is go out and grab some content. You look good with that, by the way.
Hey, thanks.
It's good. I want you to go out and grab some Office content from other applications and bring it into your Word document here.
Great. Well, as Tom mentioned, here I am in Word 97, and it really wasn't that hard to leverage information from a variety of places. So I could easily go ahead and grab this table, and I'll just copy it, and then go to the Word document that I'm working on, and come down a little bit and paste it. And then if I had some information from Outlook, it wasn't that hard. All I'd have to do is go into Outlook, copy it, come back to my Word document, and then paste it.
Should I start timing you here?
It's not that hard. And then last but not least, I would go ahead and grab this Excel spreadsheet, which looks pretty good, copy it, and then come back to my Word document and paste it. So let's come down here and paste it here. And you can see that, well, the copying didn't come across that good. It really didn't, but you can see leveraging information wasn't that difficult.
Nothing like harshing on your own products.
It really isn't.
Well, I think the folks will see here that it's a lot easier in Office 2000 using something that we call collect and paste, which allows us to go in and collect up to 12 different pieces of information at once onto the clipboard and then paste them all in at once. So let's go ahead and pop out to that other document that we were showing before, and I'm going to go and grab some text here, and let's copy this. And then let's come down here and grab the table like we were. And let's copy this as well. And once I copy that second piece of information, you'll see up pops the little clipboard, which allows me to collect all this information. So let's pop over to Outlook, and we can use the little copy tool on the clipboard and grab the Outlook icon. And you can see when I hover over the top of these, it'll show me what they all are. And we'll go over to Excel and grab that information as well and copy it. So again, not as iterative. You don't have to go back and forth, and then we can go back to the Word document that we're working in, and adding that content is as easy as just clicking and popping it in here. Okay, and we'll go deep. We'll come down here. We'll add in the table. And we'll do the Outlook information. And you'll see when we get down to the very bottom, I can add the Excel information, and you'll notice, look at the fidelity with which the Excel spreadsheet comes in here. For all of you kind of wondering what that, why we have that is, we've now, in each of the Office applications, we do this copying and pasting using HTML, which is sort of the lingua franca of the web. Each of the Office applications has it, and so we can take advantage of that in each of the applications to enhance integration. So then we want to come up here, and one thing, I won't ask David to try to do this because you can't do it very well, or you actually can't do it very well, if at all, in 97, is the ability to wrap text around tables. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this table and just drag it down here, and you'll notice that we can pop the words. Now you can wrap text easily around tables. So some neat improvements here to make creating documents easier than ever before. Now the last thing I want to do before finalizing this document is to showcase some of the multilingual capabilities in Word 2000. And you'll notice here that I have some taglines that we're putting together for an advertising campaign. One of the taglines, if I click here, you'll notice down here at the bottom is typed in French, and Word recognizes that we're typing in French. And so I'm going to go and hit Tab and begin typing in here. What?
Turn my low off where I
That's right, low.
My Spanish background.
There you go. Okay. And so we'll type in Spanish, and you'll notice, and then I'll go ahead and do German as well. Okay. And you'll notice here if I click on Spanish up here, it recognizes that I'm typing in Spanish, sure enough, and also in German, and it gives me the proofing tools so I can go and automatically make an update on the fly. So for pen pals, if you want to impress your pen pal partners, or you want to impress your colleagues by being able to put all this information into a Word document, you can do that. So pretty slick. All right, now that the document is put together, the next thing we want to do is to publish this information up onto the internet. It's really important for people to get it up onto the web so other people can view it more easily. And David, why don't you describe quickly how you would do that in Office 97?
Well, first I would have taken this document and I would have used the Save as HTML feature, the old Save as HTML feature, to first get it in HTML format. Then I would have to go ahead and give it to my webmaster, whether I send it an email or put it on floppy and ran it down to his or her office. After about, I would say, a week, it would finally end up on my intranet or on the web. Once it was up on the web, it would then just be static read-only data. How's it happen now with Office 2000?
We've made a number of improvements across the board to address each of those issues. And you can see here I can now do a file, and instead of save as HTML, we now have file save as web page. You must have done something funny.
Right, I don't know.
Okay, great. You're a funny guy.
Try my hat hair now.
It probably is. All right, so we'll do file save as web page. It's a little easier than file save as HTML. And when I do that, you'll notice a new file open save dialog box, which brings together all the key places where people save their information. And you'll notice here that we have history and personal. You can save stuff to your desktop. But in this case, we can go directly to web folders. And that is going to point out to all the different web servers that you might be publishing to. So here I've got a bunch of them that are internal in my organization. But it's also easy to go ahead and publish directly out to the internet. So if you've got your own homepage or site on Tripod or Mindspring or one of these other internet service providers, you can go ahead and publish directly out from Office there as well. So you can see here, I'll just go ahead and publish it to my team intranet site. And here's the intranet, just like the folders and web pages that you would normally see on your hard drive. And I'll save this document directly up to the web. And you'll notice here it's going to go ahead and push all that information out to the website. And there it goes. And let me go ahead and close this down. And then let's go out to the web. And here we go. And here's the our team intranet site that I just published it to. And under the on the documents page, we have a bunch of projects that we're working on. And you'll notice that here is where I just published the document adventure.htm, automatically, directly from Office, up onto the web page, no having to go through the webmaster anymore to get information up there, and it's easy now to publish that information in full fidelity as a web page up to the web. So you can see here, this is a web page. I'm in the browser. Right? Look at the fidelity. We have logos, we have the text and everything. The words and text wrap around tables fine. And even the fidelity of the Excel spreadsheet pops in here nicely as well. So we can really easily now make Office documents into web pages. Okay, once we have this up here, we also could, I'm not going to round trip this right now, but you can see the icon in the IE5 toolbar recognizes that this document was originally created in Word, and if I clicked on this, it would just fire it back up in Word, and you'd have all your Word tools to go ahead and make changes and save it back to the web. But what I want to show is some of the new collaborative features that we have in Office 2000, which allow you to have discussions on documents and be able to subscribe to documents that are sitting on the web. So you can see here, just by clicking the discussion toolbar, I come down here and I've got the ability to now have discussions in line in the document. So I'll click here on discussions and it says insert in the document. And when I do that, you'll see these little yellow stickies that come up at the end of each paragraph mark, which allow me to do things like, let me just scroll down here. And we'll go ahead and say, I think we want to add a couple of different taglines here. So we'll just say, we can add a subject and, what about, okay, and we'll say okay. And when I do that, it will layer in line a discussion item in this document itself. The key here is that we can now keep discussions within the context of the document itself. You don't have to have these sort of multi-email threads where they kind of get splintered off and different people responding. You can now keep it all in one place. If I want to reply to this thing, very easy, just hit reply, type in some text, and you can see how you can now have a threaded discussion in the document.
Hey, can you do that on internet pages as well?
Oh, you can definitely do it there. Why don't we go ahead and open up that Tampa Bay site again that we were using, that we showcased before. And what we do is, again, just like we did before, hit discussion, and hang on a second here. We'll go discussions, and we'll insert in the document as well. And you can see, again, little yellow stickies, discussion. This is Tampa Bay, and great site. Okay. And that'll layer that little discussion item in here. It's important to mention, some of you probably are thinking about, is this actually mucking up the site? Is it actually putting this stuff into the site? And the answer to that is definitely no. This is happening in the browser, intelligently in the browser, and these discussion items are being stored in a database in a separate location, which would be sitting on the server as well. So it just threads these things in nicely, and you can read them like that. So some really great functionality there. And lastly, if you want to keep up to date on the different discussion items, you can subscribe to these types of documents. And you can see here there's a subscription to this particular file or this web page. You can also subscribe to folders that are sitting on a web server, and you can identify different things about when to be notified and different email options and things like that. So really easy to collaborate more effectively on the web. And with that kind of wraps up Word 2000. Why don't we go ahead and toss it back over to you, David, and have you showcase PowerPoint 2000.
Great, Tom. I'm going to go ahead and, like you said, show PowerPoint 2000. Here we are in PowerPoint 2000. The first thing you'll notice is the new tri-pane view that allows me to see my slides, my notes, and my outline all in one view. And I can even go ahead and edit from this view as well. For those of you that are familiar with the table drawing tool in Word, you'll be glad to see that we've now brought the table drawing tool into PowerPoint. So I can go ahead and use the pencil here to go ahead and draw my own table without having to first import tables in from Word or Excel. I can even go ahead and do things as draw diagonal lines or use the eraser tool to get rid of lines as well. Now we know that a whole lot of people like to put images in their PowerPoint presentations, and a lot of times they use the clip art gallery. Office 2000 has a much improved clip art gallery. So let's go ahead and just open up the clip art gallery and choose a piece of clip art. First thing you'll notice when the clip art gallery comes up is that there's much improved searching capabilities. So I can just go ahead and say, when it comes up, I can go ahead and say, I want to see all my pictures of hikers here. And when I hit enter, you'll see that it gives me all my hikers. You'll also notice that I can now shrink the clip art gallery size down so I can actually see what I'm doing in the background rather than having it take up the full screen. So I like this hiker here, but if I didn't, I could easily go ahead and find similar clips, and I could search by artistic style or by color and shape, or for that matter, I can even go ahead and find it based on a specific keyword, a new clip. You'll also notice with the clip art gallery that I can now take this piece of clip art and just drag it right onto my presentation. So I'll just go ahead and resize this so it looks good. And one great thing you'll notice is that the clip art gallery is actually still open. In the past, if I wanted to put multiple pieces of clip art, I had to reopen the clip art gallery every time. You can see that now it just stays open. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up one last slide here, and I'm going to ask Tom here to put on the Office 97 hat now.
Do I get to wear it too?
You can wear it,
okay,
yes.
That's great.
And
how do I look?
You look great, Tom.
Okay, thanks.
And we're going to go ahead and both add some points to this last slide here. So once again, he's in PowerPoint 97. I'm in PowerPoint 2000. So let's go ahead and hit enter here. Okay. And let's type in create giveaways. And then we'll, after we're done with that, hit enter one more time, and we'll type watch profits soar.
What's so hard about that?
No problem, but why don't you click off that? What's happened over there on PowerPoint 97?
Well, I guess it's actually kind of gone off the end of the screen. I'd probably have to do some reformatting to get it on this slide.
Well, you can see here with PowerPoint 2000, it's intelligent enough to recognize that I'm typing off the end of the slide and will automatically resize the text so it just fits. Pretty powerful.
Nice.
So now that this presentation,
There's a murmur in the crowd.
There's a murmur.
They like that one. Yeah, they like that one.
So now that this presentation is pretty much done, I may want to go ahead and share this presentation up to the web so that anybody can view it. But I may want to see how this is going to look in the browser before I do so. With the new web page preview feature, which is shared across all the Office applications, I can see exactly how it's going to look in the browser. So let's just give it a second here for it to fire up the browser. Okay. And when it comes up, the first thing you'll notice is that it looks great right in the browser. Let's just give it 1 second. There it is. The great thing is you'll see that I have my slides, my notes, and my outline right here in the browser. I can even go ahead and see how this is going to look in full screen slideshow mode as well. And you'll notice that when this fires up, that even the animations come across. Nice. And remember, I'm doing this right in the browser.
So you don't need to have PowerPoint then on your desktop to be able to give these types of presentations.
That's correct, but even more importantly, anybody with just a browser would be able to view this presentation. It's pretty powerful stuff. So in a nutshell, that's PowerPoint 2000. You can see how it's definitely much easier to use and manage, as well as a number of great new web capabilities as well.
Fantastic. All right, next up to the plate is Excel 2000. So let's go ahead and move over here. And we're going to do another little side-by-side here that we kind of like. And, oh, that's right, you get the hat now. You like it? Okay. All right, so here we are in Excel, right? And we've got a basic spreadsheet and chart. And one of the things that we heard from lots of customers was the need to be able to add formatting to lists as we go down and add more rows and more columns into our list. And so we're going to showcase how you can do it in 2000 versus 97. So David, why don't we type in shoes in the first cell here. And then we'll say that we're going to do retail price of $75 and let's sell 150 units. How are you doing over there?
Well, you know, Excel 97 isn't recognizing that I'm adding to an existing list, and I'm going to have to go back and reformat those cells so it matches the cells above it.
And plus get all the totals over there as well, right?
Absolutely. What's happening over there?
And as you can see, Excel 2000 automatically reformats to the end of the list, and so we can it'll automatically pick up the calculations as well. And kind of a mystic feature in Excel 98 that I'll just go ahead and do this because we want to add the new totals in here is to drag down and grab the additional numbers, and that'll update the chart automatically. Okay, so once we've got the chart and the spreadsheet looking just like we want it, like we showed you in Word, we'd really like to get this information again up onto the internet or up onto the intranet for people to use. It's also increasingly important for people to be able to manipulate that data when they're in the browser, so they don't necessarily have to learn Excel on the desktop to get some of the same types of functionality. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of that Save as HTML functionality in Excel to get this up onto the web and make it interactive. So you can see Save as Web Page, the same thing that we showed in Word earlier. And we have the same dialog box, which you'd expect. And I'm going to point to that same marketing team web to publish this to. I'm going to select the chart to make sure that we have the chart along with the spreadsheet. And I just click a checkbox called Add Interactivity, which tells both Excel and the browser to allow you to manipulate the data in the browser itself. Not in Excel, just go in and change numbers, and we'll show that in a second. And you'll see when I click that and click Publish, it'll open this document up in the browser. And it looks like we've got, let's go check this out here. And here we have the chart and the spreadsheet now. Here I am in the browser in IE5, and everything looks great, but unlike before where this would be static data and it was a little hit or miss of what it looked like, as you saw in Word before, we now have full use of, or able to manipulate the numbers here. So let me go ahead and change this to 30%, and you'll see that it automatically updates the chart in the browser. So you can do some iteration to the numbers. We can also take advantage of the Excel property toolbox here in the browser and do things like, reformat text, do different filtering, and a whole range of different Excel features here directly within the browser. So some really great functionality for being able to get Excel information up and give lots of people the ability to do some things with it. All right, last thing we want to show you in Excel here is, let's get out of this and let's go over to pivot tables. Now, pivot tables are things that we find that lots of customers don't use today, but we think that that's largely because we've not made it that easy to use them in the past, except for sort of the hardcore finance guys. And so what we've done here is we've heard from lots of people that say, hey, we've got data all over the place, right? We have data in Excel, we've got data in databases. So why don't you redo the user interface and make it easier to use pivot tables so that we can use that compelling functionality. And I want to show you a couple of quick things about pivot tables. So here we have, we're in a pivot table view, and I've got a bunch of data that we've collected, and I'm just going to drag and drop some of these fields up onto our pivot table view. So we'll do age up on top, and we'll look at country and category here, and then we want sales, of course, and so we're just going to drag that in, and all of a sudden this large either flat file or database of data is now reorganized so it's easier to access and analyze that information. You can see here it's got all the information that we need. I can also drop down and modify and grab just the country that I want, so we'll pick up USA here. That makes it a little bit smaller, and I can also blow out and expand each of these items here, so we can look by state within country or by city within state, and you can see all the different sales data there as well. And then what's even better is we've given users the ability to chart their pivot tables now. We couldn't do that in the past, and so we now make it easier to visualize this data. So we'll go ahead and chart this pivot table, and you'll see that it picks up all that data, puts it into a nice chart, and I can in the chart also manipulate the information. So let's take category and move it off. And that doesn't, that's not going to be all that explanatory, is it?
Doesn't say a whole lot.
Yeah, it doesn't really say a whole lot. So let's take age and drag that down here. And then let's take and grab customer by gender, and we'll drag that in here. And you can see that we can automatically update this information on the fly and make it better, more easy to analyze. And you can see that automatically the pivot table is updating as well.
Hey Tom, can you take that pivot table or pivot chart and save it up to the web and have it be interactive just like that earlier Excel spreadsheet?
You do it exactly the same way that we did before. You just save it as a web page, add that interactivity, and people can go in and do the same thing that I just did in the browser. You don't have to have Excel on the desktop. You can just do it that way. So really powerful stuff for being able to access and analyze information more effectively. So now back to you for Publisher 2000.
Absolutely. So here I am in Publisher 2000. Publisher has shipped for some time in the Office Small Business Edition, but with Office 2000, it will also ship in the Office 2000 Professional Edition and the Office 2000 Premium Edition, so more users can go ahead and create great-looking publications, such as brochures, newsletters, for that matter, anything else they want to create. So here we are in Publisher 2000. The first thing you'll notice is that there's over 40 professionally designed looks that I can choose from and apply it to any one of my publications. Second thing you'll notice is that we now have a quick publication wizard so that anybody can go ahead and create great-looking one-page publications in a matter of minutes. Finally, you'll also see that we have a new wizard, a catalog wizard, that allows me to create great-looking multi-page catalogs on the fly. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and do today. Let's go ahead and choose this catalog right here. Publisher 2000 now supports Word's auto-numbering and auto-bulleting, as well as PowerPoint's auto-fit text that we saw a little bit earlier. One of the keys for Publisher 2000 was to make the menus and toolbars more like that of Office, so traditional Office users could go ahead and just go ahead and start creating great-looking publications without having to learn a new user interface. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. And taking a page out of our Office book, I'm first just going to go ahead and type a new line in here. And once again, out of our Office book, I can go ahead and center this, or make the font a little bit bigger, or add a different font color to this. So I'll just go ahead and make this yellow, or even go ahead and add a background fill. If I open up the wizard again, you can see that I can choose from a variety of different designs or different publications, and you'll see that each of them are building. And I'll just go ahead and choose here, and I'll choose this one here called Blends. If I don't like the color scheme that I have, I can easily go ahead and make a global change to the whole catalog. You can see that the colors are automatically updating. You'll also see that Publisher 2000 has a new and improved page navigation. You'll see that down here I can see that I have 8 pages of my catalog, and I can even look at this as a single page spread, or even go ahead and look at this as a multi-page spread as well. Let's go ahead and shrink this down a little bit so that everybody can see it. And if we show the wizard again, you'll see that I can easily change the content on either side of the page. So today, on this left inside page, I have some text and I have one column and I have a picture. I could easily go ahead and change this to 2 columns, text and a picture, or I could go ahead and change it to three pictures, or for that matter, you can even go ahead and make this a calendar page as well. When I click on the calendar, you'll see a little wand appears that signifies I can make more detailed changes to this calendar. So once again, I could go ahead and change the look of this calendar, or I could even go ahead and change the date as well. So let's just make this a little bit later in the year. And we'll click OK, and you'll see that it's automatically updated. Nice. I could do the same thing as well to the right-hand side of the page. And I can even go ahead and put in pictures that I want to have in my catalog. Since I don't sell briefcases, I can go ahead and select pictures from the clip art gallery like we saw earlier, or go ahead and grab a picture that I have directly in a file. So I'll just go ahead and insert these boots here, and you'll see that it's automatically updated.
We also have some great new printing capabilities too, don't we?
Absolutely. I could go ahead and print this out on a local printer, or I could go ahead and take it to a local copy shop, or even take it to a commercial printer. We've done a number of great new things to make it easier to take it to a commercial printer.
Right.
First is we have the ability to now to have 4-color separations in Publisher 2000, which is a big win for any of those people that like to create great-looking professional publications. You'll also see that we have a new Pack and Go wizard that allows me to pack up all the fonts, the graphics, and the text, and then either take it to another computer or take it to a commercial printing service. And this solves a lot of the problems that commercial printers often have with non-professional publications. So in a nutshell, that's Publisher 2000.
That's fantastic. So for all those desktop publishers out there, we've got some great new functionality in this product.
That's right.
So that actually brings you up through Office 2000 Professional Edition. And what we want to showcase now are the last 2 applications that make up the Office 2000 Premium Edition, or our full web-ready suite. And those 2 applications are PhotoDraw, which is our business graphics package, and FrontPage 2000, which is our website creation and management tool. So we're going to stay with you, David, and show PhotoDraw, show some good eye candy here, and then we'll finish things up on the web.
Right. So here, as Tom mentioned, we're in PhotoDraw 2000, and this is our new graphics software package that allows me to create great-looking graphics for the web or print. The first thing you'll notice about PhotoDraw 2000 is that it's very visual in nature. You can see I have a picture list here that shows all the pictures that I'm about to work on. You'll also see that PhotoDraw 2000 has visual menus, so I can see exactly what it is I'm doing. We have a number of templates to create great-looking web graphics, business graphics, or even design our clip art. Or if I have a scanner, I can easily scan in a photo and do such things as fix red eyes, remove scratches, even clone a picture right in PhotoDraw 2000. So basically, I can make anybody or anything look a little bit more professional. I can even give you a new profession as well. So I know you've always wanted to be in the circus.
Always, I am in the circus.
So I could go ahead and take this frill and move that over there and give you the clown nose, and even give you the hat and put it on there as well. Now you're looking a little bit more professional, Tom.
Quit my day job now.
You can. Hey, Tom, remember that mountain biking picture that we took of you a couple days ago?
Yeah, I was really good that day, wasn't I?
Well, you can see what a clear, sunny day it is. Yep. And all of us know that live in Seattle, it's rarely that sunny. Right. So I'd hate to give people in the audience this perception that Seattle's always this sunny.
And they'd want to move here, right?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cutout tool, and I'm going to cut out the blue background here so we can give this a little bit more of a realistic look. I'm going to choose to cut this out by color, and I'll just go ahead and take my crosses here and cut out the blue background. You can see it automatically cuts the blue out of the background. Let me just grab a couple other little pieces here. I'll click Finish, and now I can go ahead and use one of my many pictures fills that come with PhotoDraw 2000. So I could go ahead and make this scene a little bit more cloudy, to give it a cloudy day, or I could go ahead and give this a nuclear red sky day, or if I want to make it a little bit dangerous for you, Tom, I can even go ahead and make it a stormy day as well.
That's what it was like when we were out there.
That's how it usually is, isn't it? Great. With PhotoDraw 2000, it's also really easy to combine multiple pictures. So the first picture I'm going to go ahead and use is this logo that I have. First thing I'm going to do is add one of the many designer effects that ships with PhotoDraw 2000. So I'll just go down and select this one called Watercolor, and I'll select the damp translucent effect. And you can see that the logo is automatically updated. I can also go ahead and add a shadow to this as well, and you'll see that it just drops it right in there. Now I can go ahead back to the picture that I really want to work on and take my logo and just drag it right on top of the picture to combine those pictures. You can see it drops in nice and easily, and I can even go ahead and resize it or insert text if I want people to know what this picture is that they're looking at. So I'm just going to go ahead and type AdventureWorks in here. And there it is, and I can even go ahead and resize the text so that it fits. All I have to do is drag the corners, and the text automatically resizes. With PhotoDraw 2000, I can also go ahead and add a 3D effect to this text as well. So I'm just going to choose this one right here, and you'll see that the text is automatically updated so it has a 3D effect. And I'll make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. If I want to change the colors, I can easily do so as well for that text. And I'm just going to choose to make it a 2-color gradient. And you'll notice that there's these little eyedroppers here that allow me to get exactly the color that I want. So first I'm going to go ahead and take the eyedropper and choose this orange color here of the logo. And you'll see that the beginning of the text is automatically updated with the orange color of the logo. I can take the eyedropper for the end of the text and make sure I get the right color blue. And you can see that we now have the right color blue added to my text.
Looks great.
So now that this picture is pretty much done, I can go ahead and save this up to the web, or I can even save it to an Office document. And PhotoDraw 2000 makes that easy with the Save for Use in wizard. You can see I have a number of options. I can save it for use on the web, as a thumbnail, in an Office document. For that matter, I have a number of different options. When I click, I'm just going to go ahead in this case and choose to save this up to the web. And you'll see that what it's doing is actually building a number of different options so I can see exactly how I want to save this picture. When it comes back up, you'll see that I can save it as a GIF or a JPEG and with a number of different images. So you can see that here's my picture, and I can see how it would look in the size if I saved it as a GIF or as a JPEG with the best quality, or medium quality, or even low quality, and it gives me the download times as well for how long it would take to download this off the web. You'll see that if I change the connection speed from 28.8 to a T1 line, the download time goes all the way down to 2 seconds for the best quality. Right. So you can see this is a great way to go ahead and save my pictures for the web and or for Office documents.
Perfect. All right, well, let's go last but not least over here to this computer and talk a little bit about Front Page 2000. And I'm going to open up, I'm going to return once again to the Tampa Bay site. We really appreciate Tampa Bay, you allowing us to use your site here, because it really is a wonderful site. You can see that this was developed in Front Page 98, and the people who put this together really did do a nice job of showcasing some of the things that you can do with Front Page generally. They have images here. They have image maps, which are hyperlinks to other pages off of images. They're using the marquee feature in Front Page, and they've also got a nice background here and text and fonts and all kinds of great things. And what I want to do is I want to showcase using a test web some of the new functionality that we have that would sort of enhance the ability to build sites like this. And so you can see that I've mocked up a little eXtreme website here that's using a Front Page, one of Front Page 2000's themes. We've got some text in here, some images, and there are really 3 key areas that we focused on in Front Page 2000, which one was to more tightly integrate with Office, which was really key for people who wanted to just get started using Office tools to do editing on their websites. We've also given more granular tools for sort of the web developer types to be able to go in and create HTML and preserve HTML that they bring into their applications. And we also have a bunch of other site management tools as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here at some of that functionality. First, you're going to see here up at the top, we've got the Office formatting and standard toolbars, right? So we've got a lot of the same types of features like the painter and colors and things like that. We also now have full integration between the editor and the Explorer, so all of you Front Page users out there who had to use 2 separate applications, one to sort of manage your pages like this and the other to edit your pages, they're now integrated here. And you can now create websites directly on your hard drive, just like you create a document. You don't have to turn your PC into a web server to be able to create websites anymore with Front Page. Okay, so let's spruce up this page a little bit. First thing I want to do is remove this font size here. I think it's Algerian, which is a little too aggressive for this eXtreme site. And I want to change that to Arial, so I'm going to dial that back a little bit using the drop-down WYSIWYG font dialog box. And then I can pop in here and use the new Office color tools, and you can see we have standard colors. It picks up the themes colors automatically, or I can go off and use the WebSafe palette or that eyedropper, similar to the one that David showed in PhotoDraw, and just go over and point to the type of color that I want, grab it, and apply that to that particular piece of text. So really slick being able to do that. Next is I want to, let me grab this heading here, and I want to add something called a DHTML effect. Just think of it as PowerPoint animations like David showed you before, the ability to have text fly in, spin in, drop in, do all this kind of cool stuff. And let's pop up here and we're going to apply a DHTML effect. And I'm going to say on page load, so when a page pops up into the browser, we're going to have this text fly in from the right. Okay, and you'll notice that when I do that, it brings this little blue highlight over the top. I can hover over the top and it tells me what's going to happen there. So pretty cool. So let me go ahead and add in another heading here, and we're going to say, message from Bill. All right. And from here, what I want to do is, you'll notice that if I happen to, I was actually too good here, if I misspelled a word, we now have red squiggly underlines in front page as well to help with spell checking. So I can go ahead and modify that on the fly. And then using the format painter, I can come up and grab the format, including that animation, and apply that to this particular piece of text down here, and it'll automatically pick that thing up on the fly. So much easier to do that in front page 2000. Next, I want to add another image like I've got up here, so let's go ahead and do that. And we'll pop out, and let's grab an image of Bill and drop it in. I think it comes in fairly large here. Hi, Bill. There's Bill. All right, and so I can resize that pretty easily. We'll just drop that down, resize it. Hey, there we go. And then what I want to do is, in the past, making text wrap nicely around these images would be pretty tough. But in front page 2000, we now have some new positioning tools which allow me to wrap text either to the left or the right around an image. And you can see, sure enough, I can just pop that text right around that image. I think there was some oohs and ahs for that.
I think there were some oohs and ahs, actually.
Okay. All right. So we've got that in here. That all looks great. And the next thing we want to do, let me just very quickly show you for the hardcore folks out there. We want to go into page options. For those of you who want to design for specific browsers, you're not sure what's going to work in IE3, NAV3, IE4, NAV4, that kind of thing, you can now select which browser you want to use. So we can go ahead and let's design this for IE and Navigator, browser version 4.0 and later, and you can see that when you do that, it will gray out some of front page's functionality. Also, for those of you who create your own HTML outside of front page, you can go in and we automatically preserve your HTML. So we no longer have what we call around here an inappropriate relationship with your HTML code. Front page 2000 now preserves that. So we're good there. Last thing I want to show you here, since we're running a little bit short on time, is I want to create a new page, all right? And what we're finding is that tons of people who create websites want to capture information. They want to capture feedback from customers or colleagues, that kind of thing. And so what I want to do here is have a little fun and create a little contest page, create a form, and have that data stored in a database and shown on the web. So let's come in here, and I'm going to insert a form, all right? And we're going to have this be, we're going to have somebody put in their name, and we're going to have winner, not sinner. Sorry, that's bad. Okay, so we're going to pop this in, and for the name, we just need a one-line text box, and for the winner, let's do a drop-down menu. Okay. Now this is pretty cool. If I just click on the drop-down menu, I can just add my information here, right? And so since this is going to be a contest on who's the best demoer, I'm going to put David Jaffe in here, and we'll even give you a shot, David, to have your name selected first in the list, and then I'll put my name in here as well. Okay. And sure enough, when I do that, it'll just automatically populate that drop-down menu with those names. And then what I want to do is, of course, once you get the information entered into a web page, you want to have it sent somewhere. And in front page 2000, we now will create a database for you without ever having to go into Access and learn any of that stuff. We'll just create it on the fly. And we'll do that by just saying, create a database. And you'll notice that right here, it's going to chug away and connect to a database. In this case, create the database, since we don't have one. And once it's done, it tells me, hey, we've successfully created a database for you. We're great. We're good. And now I want to go ahead and save this. And it's going to save it up. And let me make this contest. And we're done. And now I want to go ahead and preview this in the browser. And it will work equally as effectively in IE or Navigator. And I'll preview this thing. It'll pop it up here. And I can go in. And I'm going to type in, David, you're going to be the one to vote this time. All right? And because you're such a nice guy, you're going to pick me. Right? There you go. And we'll go ahead and submit that. And here's the default form confirmation that comes up with front page. But you can very easily provide your own and link to your own. And we can return to the form. And that looks great. And then it's also, since we're running a little short on time, I won't show you, but you can very easily pop back to that same page and drop the database in here and show that data live on the web that automatically updates.
So you can keep track of all the people who have entered.
I can keep track of all the people who've entered things right into a web page that can be viewed internally, so I can see that maybe I win or maybe you win. We'll see. All right, so that wraps up the presentation for front page and overall for Office. And so,
before you end, Tom,
okay,
one more
sorry.
thing.
Okay.
The whole time we've been talking about ease of use, and we've shown a number of great new ease of use features in Office 2000. This one final feature that I'm going to show you really shows how resilient Office 2000 is. And once again, I'm going to have you do a side-by-side comparison where you're the Office 97 guy. Do you want the hat?
Backwards this time.
Okay, absolutely. So how many times does it happen where you've been up late and you have a big presentation the next morning, so you just start deleting critical files to free up some disk space? So before you know it, you've deleted a critical file and none of your applications will boot up. Well, we're going to both go ahead and delete this thing called winward.exe. I'm going to delete it from Office 2000, and you're going to delete it from Office 97.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and...
Sure we want to do this?
I don't know what it does, so it couldn't be that important. And I'm going to go ahead and both go ahead.
Say
ignore
yes.
that. Let's go ahead and empty the recycle bin so we make sure that it's off our machine. Now, for those of you that don't know what I just did, what we both did, is that we deleted the critical file that makes Word run. So let's both go ahead and click on this Word document that's sitting on the desktop and see what happens.
I'm not thinking I'm going to have a very good experience.
Well, why don't you try it and see?
Well, okay, it can't find the winward.exe, which isn't surprising, which would probably mean that I'd certainly have downtime trying to go either call help desk or reinstall Word, right?
Yeah, so basically,
so I'm out. I'm done for a while.
Right, for at least an hour, reinstalling the product.
Sure.
Well, you can see right here that with the new Windows installer technology that ships with Office, it's smart enough to recognize that I've deleted a critical file and will automatically replace that file on the fly, so I can just go ahead and stay working. You can see that this will be this is a huge time saver. I won't have an hour of downtime. I can just go ahead and stay working. In fact, one of the most common help desk calls comes from when somebody deletes a critical file or if there's a corrupt file as well. So in just 1 second, we'll see that Word indeed will boot back up, and there it is, and I can just go ahead and stay working.
Nice work, nice work. All right, so that wraps up the Office 2000 presentation, and after a short clip, we're going to come back and show you MapPoint 2000.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, Microsoft Personal Support. How may I help you?
You're watching Microsoft Extreme, coming to you live from the Microsoft campus in Redmond, Washington. Now, back to our host, Tom Bailey.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the Office 2000 presentation. The next presentation is going to be from a great companion product for Office 2000 called MapPoint 2000. It's a brand new product out of our geography unit. And today, let's go ahead and move over here and introduce you to Deb Rappaport, the fabulous Deb Rappaport, who is the product planner, on MapPoint. Want to take it away?
Thanks, Tom. Sure. Well, I'm very excited to introduce Microsoft MapPoint 2000. It's a new business mapping and analysis companion to Microsoft Office. And what MapPoint lets business users do really falls under 3 categories. The first is you can easily find and illustrate points on a map. Second is identify business trends really easily. And then last, we let you integrate maps into the work you do in Microsoft Office. Let me show you exactly what I mean by starting not in MapPoint, but here in Microsoft Excel 2000. This is actually a pivot table for the company AdventureWorks. That's our fictitious demo company. And here you can see we have sales organized by state. And all I'm going to do is simply select this pivot table here, drag and drop it into MapPoint, and you can see the kind of deep integration we have with Office. These wizards are going to come up, but to show you how easy this is, I'll just click Finish twice without changing any of the defaults. And now we have a really great look at where our sales are really strong or weak. So here in Illinois, our sales are $5 million. So that's one of our really strong states. Whereas in Missouri, our sales are lousy. They're under $1 million. And we know from experience, or I know from experience with this AdventureWorks company, that the reason our sales are low in Missouri is because we don't have a retail store there. So later on in the demo, we'll go ahead and locate and create a retail store location in St. Louis, actually. But do these sales that I'm seeing here really give me the whole picture? For example, what would these sales look like on a per capita basis? Let's go into our data mapping wizard and compare our sales data to demographic data. Here, I'll just keep clicking next on this wizard, and here I can compare those sales to the demographic data that ships in MapPoint. So here's population 1998. That's what we'll do when we want to have a per capita view, but we ship with tons of demographic data like population by age, by education level, and even by average household income. So we'll just do the basic per capita view, and I'll go ahead and maybe I'll change my map from green to purple. So let's see which stores are actually performing best for their population. Well, it looks like Iowa here is the darkest state, and we can tell by our legend that maybe Iowa stores really offer us the best practices. Let's go ahead and open a new map. I won't save that map that I just had open. And now that I know I want to open a new store in Missouri, I have contacted a real estate agent, and she has sent me an address. So up here, an address of a place to look at, location to look at. So up here in the Unified Find box, I'll just type in an address, 266 Cass Avenue, and click return. And here it gives me, notice I didn't type in a city, I didn't type in a state. It gives me all of the 266 Cass Avenues in the country. And I'll choose St. Louis, Missouri, and click OK. And here I can see the location that the real estate agent is recommending. It looks nice right here on the Mississippi. And we'll go ahead to our next step by opening a new map, which is, the next step is figuring out who to invite to, which of our customers to tell about this brand new store. So what I'll do is I'll go to our data import wizard, and I'm going to import our Microsoft Access database. Now this is the database of mail order customers in Missouri. Remember, we did service that Missouri area with a mail order catalog, but not with a retail store. So I'll click on the mail order database, and I'll open it up, and I've already run a query in Microsoft Access on our Missouri and Illinois customers. And we'll go ahead and Microsoft MapPoint will automatically map those customers. This time, instead of doing the shaded area map, I'll open a pushpin map. And there are explanations over here that can tell you which type of map is right for your data. And we can see here we've mapped customers in the St. Louis area, in the Kansas City area, and up here even in the Chicago area. Well, I know that only people in the St. Louis area are really going to come to any grand opening or really going to visit my store. So again, using this integration we have with Microsoft Office, I can simply select those customers in the St. Louis area by drawing a quick box around them, right-click, and export directly to Excel. So it turns out that 18 of those 33 customers are really the ones that would be able to come to my new store, and I've really been able to target my direct mail towards them. For example, now I can just go ahead and run my run a mail merge from Excel and go ahead and do a direct mail piece. So here we've ended in Excel, actually right where we started, and I've showed you how MapPoint really combines the power of mapping and data analysis with the simplicity of Microsoft Office. And for those customers out there who would like to do consumer mapping, we also have the Streets and Trips 2000 product, which is full US street level data as well as travel planning. So that's it for MapPoint 2000.
All right, Deb, perfect.
Thanks.
Exciting new product. When MapPoint's going to be available, it's right now, right? With Sim with Office?
Right, June 10th it'll be available.
June 10th, Thursday. We're all available on Thursday. That's great. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and move off to the last set of demos, to the guys who really have a lot of fun at the company, our games demo masters, Pete Parsons and John Rodman, to show us strategy and cars and football and all kinds of fun stuff. Go for it, guys.
Very cool. Thanks, Tom. Well, some of you actually may have heard of a little title we have, real-time strategy game called Age of Empires. Actually, Age of Empires and its Rise of Rome expansion pack have sold over 3 million copies worldwide to date. So needless to say, we're pretty excited about Age of Empires 2 coming out this holiday. Let me take you right into the game. The original Age took you through from the Stone Age to the Iron Age, and the expansion pack took you through the rise, and if you play like I do, the eventual fall of Rome. Age 2 takes place in the Middle Ages, so when you think about Age 2, you want to think about Genghis Khan, William Wallace, Joan of Arc, and in fact, these characters are actually in the game, and you can play them, which is a very, very cool thing to have. Now, the first thing that gamers are going to notice when they get into the game, and we're here, is that the maps are significantly larger than the original game. They're roughly 4 times as large, in fact. Also, you'll notice that the units, your troops here, are much more to scale to the buildings. And that posed an interesting problem for the designers. So we put a new feature here where you walk behind, when your unit walks behind a building, you can actually see their outline as they go behind the building. Why don't we take a little cruise through our map here. We can see the beautiful terrain. I'm going to jump. I'm actually playing the Frank Empire right now. In fact, all of my troops speak Old French, which is quite cool. You can see we have our cities, beautiful cities and details, gates that open and close. I'll go through here. I'll send my galleon off to sea. Okay, now one of the things we added in the original Age, you pretty much needed to resort to combat if you wanted to win the game. And in Age 2, we've actually added an entire market economy. Now what's cool about that is you could actually win the game by supplying goods to 2 different warring factions. And I'll show you how that works. I'm here on my market. I'm going to sell some stone for gold, and the worldwide price of stone is actually going to drop the more stone I sell. Why don't we take a look at some of the other civilizations we have. There are 13 civilizations. Each of them have their own special unit as well as their own language. These are the Saracens of the Middle East. You can see the blankets on the ground. We have the mosque, which is our wonder here. And now we'll go up to our Japanese empire. This is the samurai. So we have our palace. We can see our troops. Now, if you like combat as much as I do, we've actually added a couple of really cool features in the game. One of the things that our customers were saying is, hey, listen, my villagers are getting wiped out early on in the game. So if I click on my town center here, I just ring the alarm bell, and my little villagers run inside and they're safe from harm. When I ring the all clear, they actually come back out and go back to what they were doing. Now this garrisoning feature really works for combat well too. So I select my troops here, danger's approaching, and I send them inside of the tower, and that increases the firepower and the strength of the tower. Now another cool thing we've done here is something that we call formations, and what formations allow you to do is actually recreate battles like they were fought in the Middle Ages. So I'll select my guys here, and I'll select a formation. There they go, and we'll march them off to battle. Now, like I said, each of these civilizations has its own special unit, and this is my favorite one, the French trebuchet, which is a siege weapon. We have battering rams. This is the advent of gunpowder, so we have galleons and gunships, cannonades.
Stand down or I'll be forced to declare war.
And even an entirely new scripting system where your enemy actually knows what you're doing and reacts to you. Well, I'm not going to tell you how this battle actually ends. You're just going to have to find out for yourself this holiday. That's Age 2. Very, very excited about it. It's going to be huge. John, something to tell us on some hard-hitting football action today?
You got it, Peter. Thanks so much. Hey, ready for some football? It's only June, but 3 months from now, opening kickoff of the 1999 NFL season. And that's where you're going to be able to march into your retailer and get a copy of NFL Fever 2000 from Microsoft. It's the hardest-hitting, toughest, meanest, smash-mouth, in-your-face football game that's ever going to rock your desktop before. We have all the NFL teams, all the NFL players. We have all the stadiums. We have the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the gladiators and the warriors of the Midway have stormed in to lock lips and freeze together on a cold and windy Sunday afternoon. We have, as I said, the meanest, toughest, most hard-hitting football game that you're going to feel and play on your PC. Now, what I mean by that is simply you can take your gamepad, go in, choose any team you want. You want the Jets, Patriots, you want the Dolphins and the Bills, you want the Seahawks and the 49ers. You can play interdivision, interconference. Very conveniently, I've won the coin toss here.
The Packers will receive the opening kickoff.
Voice sound familiar to anyone? Dick Stockton and Matt Millen, Fox commentators, are going to be doing the play-by-play on our game.
Number 88 is deep, awaiting the opening
Let's
kickoff
get ready.
from Anderson.
And here we go.
We are underway. Return was worth 34 yards.
Now, one of the things we really are emphasizing, as I said, is the tackling and the hitting and the blocking. We want you to not just feel like you're watching an NFL football game. We want you to actually feel like you're playing and coaching an NFL football game. It's get off of the couch and get into the game. And let me show you what I mean when I say hard hitting. Notice up on the screen Millen's call. What Millen's call is a series of plays designed and recommended by Matt Millen, 4-time Super Bowl champion and the only player to win a Super Bowl with 4 different teams. What this feature does is allow you to pick a series of plays that otherwise you wouldn't normally know to pick given a certain situation on the field. So if it's 4th and 1 on your opponent's 20, Matt's going to recommend some plays that'll hopefully get you that first down. If it's 3rd and 9 on your own 27, he's probably going to recommend a series of plays that make it more conservative and leave you not turning the ball over deep in your own territory. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a play. Let's try kind of a down, out, and up. Notice when I hit my C button on my controller, down in the left-hand corner, you see a little bit a thumbnail of the play that you've picked actually pop up. So I can move my D-pad over, see all my open receivers, and I'm going to try and hit the number 1 receiver out on the left side. Brett Favre scrambling. There you go.
Play by the Packers. That play went for 31 yards.
You can't throw it any better than he threw that ball.
1st and 10 for the Packers.
So we'll try one more time to punch it into the end zone. One thing to keep in mind, though, if you keep passing and you're playing against the computer's going to make it. Oh, the computer's going to make you pay and probably not let you complete a pass. And this is great because what it does is it challenges you to not only learn how to play the game, but also to learn how to call plays, mix up your strategy, run a little bit, pass a little bit, and really put together a solid gameplay to march down the field. You can play this against the computer, or if you have 2 game pads off of your computer, you can go ahead and play against one of your buddies on a Sunday afternoon while you're waiting for the halftime show or your favorite game to start. We'll have updates on the internet, so you can go out to the web and download roster updates and team updates throughout the upcoming NFL season. Just go to Microsoft.com to the NFL Fever website, and you'll be able to find all that data. As I said before, this game is all about the intense, hard-hitting, athletic action that you see on the field every Sunday, and we're bringing that action to your desktop so that you can actually sit there and not only watch NFL, but catch that fever and actually play NFL football. So check it out this September at a retail store near you, NFL Fever 2000. Peter?
All right, well, how many of you are tired of being stuck in traffic? Anyone out there? All right. Okay, well, our newest racing game, Midtown Madness, is going to be the cure for that. Midtown Madness is all about anything goes racing through the living streets of Chicago. And what we've actually done is recreated downtown Chicago for you to race and a number of vehicles in and scores of different types of races. So I'm going to jump us right into the game, but we have everything from a cruise mode to blitz racing, race you from Soldier Field to Wrigley Field. And we've given you a couple of cool different cars to do it in with licensed manufacturers. So we have the brand new VW Beetle, kind of a cool car. Wouldn't think of having a driving game without a city bus in it, would ya? We have everything from, here's the Bullet sports car, and one of my personal favorites, the Freightliner Century Semi. Now each of these cars, I'm going to pick the new Beetle. Each of these cars have their own individual strengths and weaknesses as you race. The Beetle's fast and nimble, but the truck can smash through walls. There's hundreds of shortcuts in this city. We have police networks. We have pedestrians that jump out of the way. You can go through shortcuts. And the game is actually narrated by a local radio talk show host in Chicago. All of these games you can play for free on the MSN Gaming Zone, and in fact Midtown Madness has an exclusive online cops and robbers only game. So here I am right in the game. We've worked with manufacturers so these cars drive like the actual cars. Give you an idea, vehicle's so accurate, we even have the daisy in the dash. Okay, so we're in one of our checkpoint races. This is part of an entire racing series. I'm going to come off the freeway. I can follow my map knowing where my race is. I'll cut around the corner. Uh-oh, watch the pedestrians. Oh, and I spun out. Uh-oh. Now, there's a, whoa! Now this game is about racing, so pedestrians jump out of the way, but they yell things at you as well as the traffic. So we're going to cruise up down the street. Now taking shortcuts is important in this game. I'm not going to follow the track. I think I'm going to go, maybe I'll just cut through the park, watch the traffic, through a little alleyway, watch out, through a tunnel, and back out again on the track. Now, this Midtown Madness is the only game that I know of that allows you to go shopping while you're in the middle of a race. So I'm going to smash through it. We're in the mall right now. Hey, look, the new Buicks are in. Okay. Come out the back side. Uh-oh, trying to scramble to finish. Lucky the cops didn't pick me up this time. And I took first. That's Midtown Madness. It's on the market right now. It's selling great. We're very excited about it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Now you can see why these guys have all the fun around here. That actually just about wraps up this version, the Summer 99 version of eXtreme. We certainly hope you had a great time attending the event today, because we certainly did. We'd also like to thank the hosts, the user group hosts, as well as the sponsors, HP, 3Com, and Barnes & Noble. Thanks for participating in the event. And also I'd like to remind you of two things. To please fill out the feedback form. Your local host at the event will provide more details, but we really, truly do take that feedback into consideration when we build new events and do the next one. And also mark your calendars for this fall. The Fall 99 version of eXtreme will be in conjunction once again with Comdex sometime in November, so be watching out for that. We'd love to have you all come back and see the next set of latest and greatest products. I'm sure Windows 2000 will be big on the screen at that point as well. So with that, I'm going to throw things back over to the local host to provide more details on the feedback forms and to also do some raffles. So thank you very much for coming. We'll see you in the fall.